Our poster is called How the Pandemic Impacted Veterans' Access to and Satisfaction with Primary Care. Let's start with the main takeaway. While it was more difficult for veterans to access primary care that shifted to virtual visits, most felt as satisfied with their care as before the pandemic. How did we get here? So our objective was to better understand how the COVID-19 pandemic impacted primary care, specifically veteran primary care in the VA health system, and we did this by looking at two domains, access to primary care and perceived satisfaction of that care. So we did this by developing a semi-structured 30-minute telephone interview. We then selected 100 veterans with appointments with their primary care doctors during COVID, and then we completed 27 full interviews and 3 partial interviews. Let's talk about the results. So of those 27 full interviews, there were 55 total scheduled primary care visits. Of those scheduled visits, 83% were able to be completed, and of those completed visits, 60% were by phone, 13% were by video, 27% were in person. So a significant shift to telehealth means. And then we asked our veterans, do you feel like you've waited too long to see your doctors since COVID began? 56% said yes. We then asked, do you feel like you've had to miss more appointments than normal since COVID began? 53% said yes. We ended our interview talking about their overall satisfaction with their primary care experience. 85% said that they were either very satisfied or satisfied. And regarding their change in satisfaction since COVID, 74% said that they were equally satisfied, but a sizable minority, 22%, said that they were less satisfied. We also recorded narrative comments from our veteran participants, which allowed further illumination of their perceptions and the impact of COVID on their experience, and it also supported these quantitative findings. So what does all this mean? So we found that it was more difficult for veterans to access primary care given those who had to wait too long to see their doctor and those who had to miss more appointments than usual. There was also a significant shift to virtual visits, and this is a change from the pre-COVID standard of in-person visits. But we saw that most veterans were highly satisfied with their care, but there was a sizable minority who were less satisfied since COVID began. Therefore, we think that there may be an opportunity to improve the virtual primary care experience. Let's end with a few quotes directly from our veteran participants. The first one, I understand why things at the VA are worse, but I'm still unhappy about it. The second quote, my biggest concern is the fear of the unknown. Is this how the VA is going to operate from now on? Final quote, there are veterans in worse shape than me, but there has been more roadblocks. We found these quotes to be pretty representative of our veteran participants. Thank you so much for listening.